Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Medieval Reader. So today I want to talk about Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare for ShakeTube. I'm not going to go over the plot because I'm sure you already have seen other videos. You already know the plot in advance because you've seen other ShakeTubers talk about it. I have to say, I don't really know how booktubers can just speak naturally to the camera. Like, I've never really gotten to the point where I feel comfortable speaking to the camera. I'm very comfortable speaking to ordinary people, but I am not very comfortable speaking in front of the camera. It's always very difficult for me. But anyway, I'm going to try to talk about Midsummer Night's Dream. So Puck is a wonderful character. I just loved his lines so much. I think he was given the best lines in the play. And while it was very funny, it was also quite serious, quite dark, because, you know, these characters are the butt of a joke, right? Suddenly, Hermia and Helena, who were once friends, become enemies because Demetrius and Lysander are going after Helena, and Helena, who has felt really hurt before because Demetrius doesn't love her, she feels like Hermia is just making fun of her. This is all a joke, and that Hermia just wants to make fun of her friend who isn't as beautiful as her, who isn't as desirable as her. And it's really sad to see this friendship falling apart because of a trick that Puck is playing on them. And you can see what happens when you don't have the full story ahead of time. In the story of Pyramus and Thisbe, where Pyramus doesn't realize that Thisbe wasn't killed by the lion. Whereas the audience of the play, because there is a play within a play in Midsummer Night's Dream, the audience knows, because the characters are actually narrating what's going to happen in the play. They know that the lion isn't going to kill Thisbe. They know that Thisbe isn't really dead, but Pyramus is going to think that she's dead. They know all of this in advance, and in fact, the reason why they have this prologue and everything being narrated is precisely because Bottom, who is the weaver, whose idea it was to have this prologue, he says, well, the women are going to be afraid. They're going to be afraid of the lion. They're going to be afraid of, they're going to feel very depressed when Pyramus sees the blood and then thinks that it's Thisbe, and, you know, they're going to feel sad. And so, you know, he's trying to warn them in advance that really this is all this is a lack of communication, and you know, prepare them for what's going to happen. But you don't really have that experience in real life. In real life, things happen to you and there could be miscommunication, but you don't know that. You aren't prepared in advance for it. And the characters, you know, Helena and Hermia, they aren't prepared in advance for what happens to them. And for Puck, it's really funny, but it's not funny for them. And I found that the theme of trickery in this play to be a bit disturbing and depressing, because, you know, what does this mean about humanity? How are we supposed to know the full picture? How are we supposed to know that there isn't some power out there who's manipulating us and playing this huge joke on us? Or there might be miscommunication, and no one's going to come to them and say, no, really, this is not how things should be, or you don't have all the information. I thought it was interesting to see the parallel between Hermia and Helena's story and Pyramus and Thisbe, where in that play the stakes are much lower. In the story of Pyramus and Thisbe, at least as performed before this audience, everyone knows in advance what's going to happen. So those are kind of my thoughts about this play. I I'm having difficulties formulating what I'm trying to say, but I really enjoyed it, and I would love to see it performed. I always find that when characters disguise themselves as other characters, it can be hard to keep that all straight in my head. It really reminded me of some of Marivaux's plays and Molière's plays, also plays written by 17th and 18th century French playwrights, where there's these disguises and characters play tricks on each other, and people fall for the disguises and take them seriously, not knowing the full picture, not knowing the full story. I like the fact that there were fairies. It makes it much more whimsical, and it brings a lot of comedy, I think, again, into a story that is otherwise quite dark. So yeah, I really like this play. It isn't my favorite, but it's definitely one of my favorite Shakespeare plays I've read so far. So let me know your thoughts, and I will talk to you later. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm in a new apartment. I have all my books on my shelf now, finally. I moved all yesterday and today. Actually yesterday evening and all of today, so I'm kind of tired, so maybe that's the reason why I'm finding it difficult. But I just, in general, I find it really hard to speak in front of a camera, and I always feel like I'm acting, like I'm performing, and I just can't speak normally. I'm constantly thinking about where my eyes are and what I'm saying and how eloquent I am. I don't know. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye now.